Learn about this special flavor as a natural source of healing pine molasses. Today, we want to study one of the topics that people who like to evaluate what nature offers us and who prefer to get support from natural materials as much as possible. Especially in recent years, pine molasses. If you would like to know the benefits of this particular blackstrap molasses, which is one of the most popular names in recent times due to its effect on the body, and sometimes also called by different names like pine jam or pine syrup, let us take you down without leaving you wondering. Let's not go through without explaining how pine molasses is consumed and what its harms are. There you are, pine molasses on all sides. What are the benefits of pine molasses? Pine cone syrup, also known as pine cone syrup, is currently on the agenda with its benefits. Here are the benefits that make it so popular. Pine molasses speeds up the recovery process from respiratory diseases. It has a cough suppressant effect. Pine cone molasses, which also has an expectorant effect, appears to be a natural solution to common ailments such as the flu and the common cold. It is said to support the healthy functioning of the lungs, reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease, strengthens the immune system when used regularly. Pine molasses, which helps the intestines to function in a regular and healthy manner, is a solution to the problem of constipation. It also shows preventive and curative effects against urinary tract infections. Before I forget, if you want to make your own pinecone jam at home, you can take a look at this recipe, cone jam recipe. How do you consume pine molasses? Suppose you prepared pine molasses or bought it ready-made. Now it's time to find the answer to the question, how to consume molasses. Pine molasses is one of the foods that should be eaten in moderation because of its effects on the body. It is recommended to take no more than 1 teaspoon per day. For this reason, unlike all other jams and molasses, you can use it almost like syrup. And with your doctor's approval, you can eat a teaspoon of molasses directly on an empty stomach in the morning. Since it has to be used in small amounts, don't consume it like classic molasses in desserts or at the breakfast table. And don't overdose. Let's say, oh my. What are the harms of pine molasses? We learned about the benefits of pine molasses and how it can be consumed. But it is not over yet. There is one more thing you should know before you decide to use it. The potential harms and side effects of pine molasses. As you can see above, pine molasses, which has many effects on the body, of course can cause many side effects when consumed incorrectly or excessively. Therefore, before you start using pinecone molasses, you should pay attention to the following steps. Pinecone molasses should never be consumed in excess. If consumed in excess, it can cause various digestive problems such as stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, and cramps, as well as cause more serious inconveniences. Those who suffer from chronic and serious illness, those who take medications regularly, those who need to follow a special diet, those with allergic body should not consume pine molasses and should not exceed the recommendations of their doctors. Similarly, it is not recommended for women during pregnancy and lactation to take pine molasses. Pine molasses should not be taken more than 1 teaspoon per day. It must be ensured that the used pinecone molasses is not obtained from trusted places. An improperly prepared pinecone molasses should not be consumed. Finally, anyone who decides to take pine molasses for the first time should consult their doctor beforehand and should only consume this honey after obtaining the doctor's approval. Let's say, this is a health, which cannot be neglected.